And we're now joined by Roger up here in our commentary position. I think that might be the first time that you've been able to watch a race with us a little bit. Quite close finish there as well, wasn't it?
Totally exciting, particularly with you commentating. I couldn't see what was going on, but it sounded phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Well, hopefully those listening at home on the radio agree with that assumption as well. It was good racing, but we've had a high quality of racing all season, to be fair. It's not just one race or even one category. All of the classes have delivered plenty of action. Yeah,
I've been totally amazed by the improvement. What happens is you start off with the riders that are not terribly fantastic, and as the season goes on, they just get better and better. I've just been amazed at this weekend. I was commenting to everybody, just look how these riders, they look so experienced now. Just one season and they've really got it. All you need is a really quick rider at the front and they'll all come up to that standard, and that's happened.
And we also see, there's a clear progression for these riders. They've got riders that come back into the adult classes just to show the way round, the wheelies and the Charlie Nesbitts of the world who come back and show the fast way round, show what the riders can aspire to.
Exactly. I mean, when you think Charlie Nesbitt is running in the Junior World Championship, and I think next year he's going to be doing that again. The standard, you say, we're talking international standard, not national standard. We're talking world standard, not even international standard. And that's the standard all these riders can aspire to. Not all of them will make it, but a great number will. I mean, for example, the British Talent Cup is 50% ex-FAB or Cool FAB riders. Something we've got to be proud of. We don't tend to think of it all the time, but I think that was pretty impressive. Not for us, but the fact that the riders have made that standard.
Well, there's plenty of riders that we've seen this season who will surely make a name for themselves in the future. One name springs to mind who's not taking part this weekend. That's Casey O'Gorman. 2 class wins in the championships overall, and what a super season it's been for him.
Absolutely incredible. But one thing I would say about Casey, have you noticed how towards the end of the season riders were getting closer and closer to Casey? And that's exactly what we want. We want another Casey every year in a class or several classes, so that the riders who are not as quick think, hang on a minute, he's only human, I can go that quick. And that's what we need to see year after year. And the more we get that, the more great riders we'll get. And I know we'll continue to get those great riders in the future.
And since we're talking about the future, look ahead to 2018. Have we started to put our thinking caps on for next season, or is it a little bit too early to discover any plans for next year?
Slightly too early, but I can tell you it will be bigger and it will be better in a number of ways. We're making a few changes, not a great number of changes. We'll keep all the good bits, like I suppose we'll have to keep you, but etc. And the filming, which actually gets enormous viewings now, incredible viewings, not only when it's live but also when it's going out on YouTube. It's being watched all over the world, particularly in America, strangely. But yeah, there'll be changes, but I'm just hoping that we'll keep the quality. That's what the quality of the races is more important than anything else. The background's great, but we do need to get that quality.
Well, there was certainly plenty of quality on show this weekend. The riders, their second visit to Rower in 2017, of course. And even when the championships were decided in the first and second races of the weekend, before we got to race 2 later on here today, the quality of the action was still superb.
Yeah, they don't, just the fact that the championship is decided, sometimes that makes the others try even harder. Well, I'm going to beat that guy who's won the championship, so they work even harder to try and actually beat him, and sometimes they will. And that's, again, really good because, well, he won a championship, I've just beaten him, I can win it next year, or I can win the next class up next year.
Particularly as the likelihood is the winners will then step up to the next category, yep, making a bit of a vacancy, yep, for riders to try and step in and fulfil that.
We've ordered a lot more mini GPs. The Metric Mini GP, I think, is just the best bike you can possibly get to bring these young riders on. And we've been out to Italy, had a chat with the factory and said, we need to make this quicker, we need to have them available immediately, and we made some changes to their production system whereby in the short term, in the next 4 or 5 weeks, we'll be able to supply bikes quickly again, and from then on that will be the same situation. I see the 70 class being quite big next year. I see the 50 class staying as big or bigger than it is this year, some with new bikes, some with second-hand bikes.
We also see the rookies developing, the less experienced ones gradually gaining in confidence. Wet weather conditions, dry conditions. It's been a challenging weekend, but they've stepped up well.
If they rode all right this weekend, they did pretty well. we had some fairly severe weather. That's the best description. We had some flying gazebos all over the place, and it was an interesting night. But there we go. I think today we've been quite lucky. The weather's been kind to us. It hasn't rained hardly. The track is drying now, and there hasn't been high winds.
6 different venues in 2017. Obviously, this was the final round of the season, so it's a bit of rest and relaxation now during the winter for everyone else, but perhaps not for you in terms of getting everything straightened out for 2018.
No, I've got some Grand Prix to do, and I've got another international race or two to do. Then I will actually have a rest. I'm going to have some holiday, and then around February we start it all over again. But I will be working towards next season almost from next week. From next week, we're already starting to plan things and change things, look at the regulations, see how we can alter it, how we can make it better. We'll always get accused of everybody's cheating, but that's one of those things in life. I've done it for 15 years and I've heard it for 15 years, and actually half the time it's just the fact that the cheating bit is that rider on top of the bike. Unfortunately, they go too fast sometimes, and we can't do a lot about that, but we'll learn to live with that.
And we're enjoying seeing them go fast, because the progression through one season is incredible, so the progression through 15 years is astonishing.
Well, yeah, makes me feel very old. I didn't think I'd be doing this after 15 years, but there we are. I shall be back next year for good or bad, so there we go.
We've already ascertained that we need more spaces on these shields and trophies, of course, for the winners, because we've got to that stage where it's had great longevity. Clearly we get to the end of the season before we start to think about next year. We've got the presentations of the trophies from the 2017 campaign. Got some great winners this year. Just a word of congratulations, I suppose, to those riders for their efforts throughout this campaign.
Yeah, I mean, the support we get from riders, not only the winners, but also, well, I won't call them also-rans because they're not also-rans in my eyes. To be fair, they've supported us really well. They work hard. They come to all the championships, and that's the way they win championships, by being there consistently and learning from those who at the time are better. Fantastic. They've all done such a great job. All the winners, all the champions, all the riders.
I'm sure you'd like to add a couple of words of thanks to others who participated in the championship. We'll add our thanks to you because we don't want you patting yourself on the back. But there are plenty of volunteers who've made it possible, families of the riders as well, who facilitate quite a lot of the effort from their youngsters.
I have to put up with a little bit of cheekiness from the younger marshals that we I
thought you were going to say from me.
No, well, I expect that from you. But I mean, they're just fantastic. I mean, the families always work with us. If we need a help here or there with whatever it is, somebody's prepared to pitch in. And the sisters, particularly of riders, or the daughters of riders, have been particularly helpful, because sometimes we struggle to find enough people to do even the podium, and we have sisters of riders doing the podium for us. I've actually never seen a podium. This will be my first time, because
it's taking place over there.
Right.
So as soon as I let you escape, you can tick that off your bucket list.
Because I was down the timing. I was finish off the results, so I'm going to watch that tonight, because we're doing them all at the end of the event this time. They're a little bit different to normal.
Yeah, this weekend has been a little bit different to normal. It was different in the sense that it was a last-minute venue change as well, coming here to Raura. I think a word of thanks probably to all of the venues that have hosted us this season. They do a lot to facilitate our involvement, and obviously Raura stepping in at the last minute. So full credit to them as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were very, very lucky. The fact that the person that normally runs the circuit was actually on holiday, but said, well, you've been coming here a long time, get on with it. Otherwise we would have been stuck, because we had to change the venue very, very quickly at the last minute. The marshals here are really, really good. The venue itself is excellent. The location is fantastic. Sometimes the weather's a little bit iffy, but this is Cumbria.
We do go to one or two remote venues.
Yes, we do.
Some far-flung destinations in Wales and of course Raura as well.
We hope very much to add Scotland next year. We're trying very hard. We're already working on that, and it's not far across the border, but it's across the border.
And how about maybe the south, where I come from? That would be a help.
And actually, where I come from, we're hoping to perhaps, well, certainly there's a couple we're talking to now. We particularly would like to go back to Lyd. Lyd was suffering from the fact it had a too small a paddock. We just got too big for them. But I think the paddock's going to get bigger. I think the facilities are going to be improved. A new timing office, that's good for me. So all in all, yeah, we're looking forward to the next season. possibly an extra circuit or two, and certainly 8 rounds, maybe 9.
Well, we look forward to the 2018 campaign, but in the meanwhile, we congratulate you and thank you for your efforts in 2017 and wish you all the best for that rest.
Thank you very much indeed, Alex.